How's everybody doing? My name's Mike, and this is Miss Sky. Today we're going to work on Sky with working on her to do sits. So we're going to, good girl. So we're going to actually be just having her in heel and then asking her to sit. Now she's done good with a lot of things, with her place, not trying to run out the front door, that kind of stuff. Her sit was a little harder to get. We've done this a few times with her. And what happens with sit is we just find the way that's going to be easiest for the dog. So sometimes I can just tell them to sit and put pressure on the collar and just pull up, just hold, and then they will sit. Some dogs won't do that. Some dogs, to get them to sit, I'll just tell them sit and I'll use the butt and I'll push the butt down. For her, that wasn't really working. If the dog's struggling and they're not doing it well, we try to find another way for them to do it. So what we do with her is I actually use my foot to help guide her butt down. We're not forcing the dog's butt down. If you force the animal to do something, they'll likely try to just flee. So we're not like kicking the dog's butt down. We're just using the top of our foot to guide the dog to the ground. It kind of looks like this. Okay, sit. I take my foot. Good girl. Good sit. Good job. Okay, so the reason we do that is to get her to know what we want from her. You know, the only way I can get her to sit is I have to find a way to get her to sit when I ask her to, so she understands that every time I ask you, I need you to do this for me. So what we do is we use repetition. If you're using treats, it's going to take much more repetition for the dog to get it, and it's also going to be a lot less reliable in public unless you always have treats. So we use a leash to teach the dog. So I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like. We're just going to use repetition for her to get this, and then I'm also going to mix it up and put her on her place to kind of break up the sits that she's doing. Okay, girl, heel. So when I say sit, I pull up on the collar and I'm using my foot. Heel. Sit, pull up on the collar, using my foot. Good. Again, we're not forcing the dog's butt to the ground. We're guiding her butt down to the ground. We just want her to feel pressure with my foot. Heel. So I want you guys to see what it looks like at this angle. Sit. So I'm using my foot. Heel. Sit. Pressure on the collar. Foot. Heel. And then what happens is we can just use pressure on the collar. Sit, and I'll just use pressure on the collar. Good girl, good sit, good job. So that's how we start getting them to sit, is we want her to be able to understand what we're asking. So we want to use the muscle memory. That's going to be the biggest, biggest help with your dog, is using their muscle memory. So you ask them to do something, you make it happen. You ask them to do something, you make it happen. We slowly take away the foot and we start just using the collar, and then before you know it, the dog's just going to do what you're asking because they've done it a million times. So let's go ahead and work her a little bit more. Okay, girl, place. Place. So I'm putting her on place just to kind of break up what we're doing with her, because I don't want her to get bored and start resisting. Okay. Heel. Good girl. Sit. So pressure on the collar. Good. There you go. Heel. Sit. Good. Atta girl. Good girl. Heel. Sit. Good. Good sit. Now that time was very little pressure on the collar. Yeah, that's a good girl. Okay, place. Hey, no, place. So, if you saw what she just did, she just jumped off a place, and I said no, and she went back, right? That will let you know that the communication is very clear. She knows what's expected of her. But even though she went back to place, I still have to correct her because she's in the beginning stages of learning what no means. So the only way for her to understand that I mean no when I say it is to give a physical correction afterwards. Again, we're not forcing the dog to do anything, we're actually mentally controlling the dog. We're only giving a second of discipline to the dog. Good place, girl. Okay, heel. Good girl. Sit. Got a girl. Good job. Heel. Sit. So I'm using like very little pressure. And so if she doesn't do it, I just increase the pressure a little bit. And that's the signal for her to sit down. Heel. Sit. Good girl. Heel. Sit. Good. Heel. Sit. Good girl. Sit. So I increase the pressure just a little bit. If she doesn't do it, I increase the pressure. Heel. Sit. Got a girl. Heel. Sit. Good job, girl. Good girl. She's doing pretty good. It took her a lot of repetitions to get her to this point. Okay, girl, place. Got a girl. Got a girl. She's looking at me out of the side eye because she's thinking, she's thinking about hopping off a place. So we never say stay to the dog. We only tell that we repeat the command. So if I say place, and I think the dog's going to move, I'm just going to say place. I'm just going to repeat the command to remind her what I want. If you say stay, then you're teaching the dog that you're going to confuse them. There's another part to the command. But anytime we say something, stay is already attached to that. If I say sit, that means sit, stay. If I have to say stay, that means they're breaking the sit. You see what I'm saying? So you want to teach your dog you mean what you say and have consistency with everything that you do.